Thank you everybody for being here. Again, my name is Jack Costello. I'm Development Manager at Birch Family Services. And yeah, I'm really excited to share with you guys how we did our virtual event in 2020. So just a little bit about Birch. We are an organization that is dedicated to empowering people with autism and developmental disabilities to lead fulfilling lives. And we do that through three main components. Through education, in which we offer individualized and person-centered education programs from early childhood and preschool all the way up through age 21. We also offer a variety of employment services, specializing in customized employment, internships, job training, and job placement supports. And we also offer a suite of community and residential services where we offer programs focused on life skills training, community connections, family education, and a whole lot of other different supports. And with that, we serve about 2,000 people with autism and developmental disabilities and their families across 4 boroughs in New York City. So what we're here to talk about is our Birch at 45 campaign. In the fall of 2020, we decided we were going to roll out a major social media activity and event campaign in celebration of our 45 years of service to the IDD community. And we ended up deciding that with the pandemic and everything, we were going to transition all of our events into the virtual space. So we were going to have our virtual 5K and our normal gala wrapped into this one campaign. We laid it out so that the 5K was going to be at about the halfway mark in our 45-day campaign, and the gala would be rounding it out. Now, with that, we set up a whole slew of programming and everything, but we really wanted to try to transition everyone from our 5K into attending our gala. Our gala used to be held in the spring, but we decided we were going to put them all together and make this one massive virtual event. In the past 7 years, we've held the 5K and the gala. They were all in-person events, so this was our first time actually doing a virtual event. All right, so how we did it. 1 month planning is a little bit of a misconception. You know, I'm sure all of you are thinking about your fundraising events well before they actually happen, especially a month before. But we decided on the platform and we got our campaign figured out about a month before the start of the campaign. And it was really based on a very thorough social media and email engagement strategy. We had a full schedule of, between 2 and 4 social media posts on all of our platforms going out every week, as well as emails going out bi-weekly and then weekly as we got closer to the different events. These we thought were going to really kind of build up the support that we needed on why, this whole virtual event was going to be important. It allowed us to share our stories from the people that work at Birch, the people that we serve, to our other community partners and stakeholders. And so we use this massive campaign as a way of really sharing our stories to build the support. Our whole development team for our organization is only 4 people. And so we were able, we think, to have a really successful event and campaign with really just like 3 people actively working on it. Of course, our chief development officer is counted on the team, but yeah, we had about 3 people really working hard on the event, as well as, all the other operations within the organization. And we thought that the platform allowed us to, really pull it off well. And I think the the big thing, it was a lot of late nights, and an easy mitigator of that would have just been starting a little bit earlier. But, it is absolutely doable. And again, we had 3 people that were really actively working on it. I was pretty much solely responsible for the actual mobile cause platform that we are rolling out. And then we have a communications guy who did a lot of the drafting of our social media copy and our e-blasts and all of those things. And then we had sorry, my coworker Lilai doing more of our donor engagement and working on securing those sponsorships and everything like that. But between the three of us, we are able to pull it off in that month. And, I'm very proud to be working with those people. They're all great. And we focused on this virtual peer-to-peer fundraiser and campaign on getting people who are participating to leverage their own personal networks and get everybody involved with what we were doing. And the main thing that we used as our tool of driving that engagement was our landing page for the virtual event. And we used this landing page or event page as the real home base of where everything about Birch at 45 lived. We used it to share the campaign details, the registration for the events, different promotion elements of the events. We had social media sharing and everything available there, where people could, just click on a link and have a pre-written social media post all ready to go for them. We also used all of our ticketing on this one landing page. So we had places where you could get sponsorships, where you could see the sponsor information, where you could register for our free gala, and where you could register to either participate in the 5K or just fundraise for the 5K. We realized that not everyone wanted to actually run or walk in our 5K, so we wanted to give people the option to just set up a fundraising team, and you were able to access that from this virtual landing page as well. This allowed us to really just use the one link to send out to all of our supporters, whether they were fundraisers, previous donors, our corporate sponsors and partners, as well as through the organization itself. We employ around 1,000 people, and so having this one link to just send out to everyone was super helpful for us. And then just on the page itself, as you can see, this is actually a screenshot. It seems like right from the end of our campaign, but the design elements really allowed us to highlight our sponsors as well as showing our progress to the goals, which especially our board of directors was very interested in, to see how we were doing. And you could see a live running list of everyone who had supported the campaign up until that point. And it just made it a really great way to, just show people what they were getting invested in and keep people excited for the things that we were doing moving forward. We definitely think that hosting everything on that one event page was the way to go. And yeah, you make your links available on your organization's website, but definitely using the event page as the driver would be the way to go. It very well may still be live, but we definitely kept it live. We were accepting donations for about a month after the event, so into December. We are keeping it active, and donations would trickle in through it. And it's something with Mobile Cause, you can update the forums, and it's a little bit more advanced, but you can have them point to different campaigns that you may have in your CRM, and you can then modify it. I know when we're going forward with our 5K, I took our old pages and I'm duplicating and rewriting so I don't have to do a lot of that work all over again. And it's been really helpful that way. Now, with this landing page, we also set up the actual 5K page. And this is a peer-to-peer fundraising page. Mobile Cause has a couple of different platforms that you can use, and we landed on the peer-to-peer fundraising page because it really allowed for a lot of donor participation in what we were doing. So with this, we are allowed to set up individual running team and fundraiser pages. You can also make just straight donations here. You can join a running team. You can do your registration here as well. You can see also up on the top, we had an element where it was just a hyperlink to submit the times for your 5K. Eventually, we had a leaderboard that we populated with like the leading times for people who are running competitively. And so we had a whole element where you could handle anything to do with the 5K on this page. You can also see that we've got our fundraising thermometer there as well. And we were blown away by the participation in this event. Because of the virtual space, we we didn't know what to expect. Historically, we raised, around 75,000 for this event. And so we were a little bit humble with our goals. We started with a $25,000 fundraising goal. And quickly we realized that we were just smashing the goal almost every week. Eventually, we stopped increasing our goal at 45,000. And the 5K itself ended up raising around $83,000 for Birch Family Services. With that, we had 87 actual fundraisers. So that's 87 individuals that were invested enough to take up the mantle of reaching out to their networks to support Birch and leverage their networks to kind of garner that support. We had around 20 different fundraising teams, and those teams were made up of some of these fundraisers. And you can use that we used our different corporate partners. Each had their own fundraising team that they could share with their employees. And we saw that just through all of these really easy means, we were allowed to get so many more participants and donors than we expected. We actually had around 500 donors participate in the campaign, which we were blown away by. Yeah, we're again blown away by the performance of this event, and one of those big components was allowing us to have a broader reach. Since the event was virtual, you could run wherever you wanted, and for a lot of our networks, we had people running all over the world. We had, I come from the West Coast, and I had a lot of my friends and family from back home running in the race, and we saw, I believe, like 13 or 14 different states represented in a couple of countries as well. So definitely benefited from the extended reach of the virtual event. And so much blown away that we are switching our annual 5K from the fall to the spring. So we're switching it in, and we are in full-on planning mode right now. I don't want to get traffic going early to our sites, but we're already building out our new fundraising page. And for this one, since it's just the 5K, we're not doing it in combination with the gala. We're only running it with the peer-to-peer fundraising page. We actually aren't using an event page this year, but we're still just really excited with taking the lessons that we learned from the fall and reworking it into an even more streamlined and coherent 5K campaign. So a big element of that is starting earlier. We were in discussions with moving the 5K back in December, and starting in late January, we were already working to get our assets together and build the resources that we need to have this campaign become what we wanted it to be. Another thing that we're excited about using that we didn't utilize in the fall campaigns were all of the texting capabilities within MobileCause. We relied strictly on email and social media engagement for our 2020 Birch at 45 campaign. We're really excited to utilize the texting programs in MobileCause. Just something that came to mind is when we were doing our big asks for the fundraising, we could text out the donation link to everyone who registered. And I wish we would have done it last year, but it was a new platform. We are still getting used to it and everything. Another lesson is, I'm sure most of you are very familiar with, is just locking in those sponsors as soon as we can. This just allows us to have a full page ready to go for our supporters to see that, this is a big event and that we're excited and that everyone else is excited as well. So that is something that we thought for a while about, a lot of the traditional marketing incentives that you would have for an in-person event aren't necessarily there on the virtual space. But at the same time, you can still offer a lot of interesting and engaging benefits to the sponsorship. One is we had a Zoom finish line party for our 5K, and we sold just a branding opportunity on our virtual backgrounds that we would have for the presentations. Another sponsorship, the display of logos is always great. For our 5K as well, we always have a t-shirt sponsor. And, I think if you're willing to just embrace the fact that the events are going in a virtual space, you can have the options you would need to secure those sponsorships, especially if you're willing to also do some of that sponsor promotion on social media. We had a lot of involvement with, posting on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, and tagging our sponsor companies as well. That can be something that you should, at least consider when you do your sponsorship packages. And something that we're going to be using is, you can see that we had a little bit of code in our fundraising page that allowed us to show social media posts. And this was a program that we were able to just embed into the peer-to-peer fundraising page that would pull social media posts based on hashtags. And so we were able to share like a live feed of people who were posting about our events as they were going through. And yeah, we're really excited for our 5K coming up in May. And really, the takeaway here is that no matter what type of virtual fundraiser you're going to, try to move with, and this platform has just a great tool set and strategy that'll allow you to host this event so easily.